Hey there, welcome to another edition of Vegas BadBoyz of podcasting. It is I, DJ Impact, and we have Matt Michaels, Sin City Steve, and Rob Ossoleri with us. And welcome to 3 Count. As always, I encourage you, if you're watching us live, to put your comments in the chat box of whatever platform that you are looking at us on. We are on YouTube, Facebook Live, and Twitch. So feel free to use either one of those, and we will try to get it in as we see fit. With that, we got 3 good topics for you. So let's get it going right now. Vegas BadBoyz of podcasting present 1, 2, 3 Count Talk.
Count Talk, baby.
All right, here's our first count. 1. And this one is, and this was a thought. This is a thought that was brought up by Mr. Matt Michaels, and one pretty much was asking: has anyone's thoughts and or opinions have changed over the past few years regarding WWE performing Crown Jewel in Saudi Arabia? And this is a really good question to ask because there's a lot of people who knew my position since this whole thing started, and I'm still the same way, and I won't talk too long. Normally, I just want to host. I don't want to add too much, but my whole point is this: I believe that when you feel a certain way, even if it don't make sense, it's me not watching it is not hurting WWE. It's not hurting the Saudi Arabia government or anybody. It's not hurting nobody, me not participating. But the whole idea of me staying true to myself as to why I don't watch it does mean something to me. And for those who don't know the reason why, it happened right when we had the killing of our journalist Jamal Khashoggi. And when that happened, and maybe I messed up his name, as Khashoggi. Khashoggi, thank you. I'm sorry. You guys know.
I kind of like Khashoggi.
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 That was
Yeah.
so sweet.
Sorry, messing up the man's name. But yeah, it all happened with him when, the man's a journalist and he happens just to speak his mind, which is of course different from what I guess the Saudis would like for him to talk about, and it became an issue up to the point where he had to leave his home and come here to the U.S. and kind of hide out. He still was able to do some writings. I know he did some writings for the Washington Post as well as a columnist, but he gets tricked because he's engaged and ready to get married, and to get married, he needs his license, which now he has to travel. I guess he traveled into Turkey, I believe it was, but it was in the consulate of Saudi Arabia. If that, so he goes there to go get his license, and he never comes out. And next thing we come to find out, not only was killed, but he was dismembered. And the entire Saudi government, they didn't know nothing. We don't know what you're talking about. He's still there. Oh, we got videos of him walking around. All of this stuff was just being said until after proof of audio and video came out going, yeah, we got all types of images and video and audio of this. They had to come out and say, okay, yeah, it looked like something happened. We'll find the bad guys. So now, while all that was happening, the WWE was right now in this transitioning of putting on this crown jewel, okay? And I get it, man. So we all know the Saudis got that money. How can you let that go? I understand. I mean, since then, we've seen them come out, offer these athletes all types of money. Shout out to Messi, who plays football or soccer, who just said, you know what, I'll just go to the States and play. But from what I was understanding, what they was offering him was almost the entire world, okay, to come play soccer with them. But they offering to have their live golf now. they throw all types of money. So I get it. WWE looked at us saying, "Listen, we got to take this." But I felt at that time it would have been nice if they took a stand. Not to say we still not going to do business with you, but this is just not the time. At the point, a lot of us here in the States were going, we can't have any communication or business dealings with the Saudis based on what just happened. And yet we have one company that side that, you know what, we'll have that business. And I just thought that that was not the right message. Listen, I love WWE, but I just can't agree with, every decision that they made. And I always thought that that was a bad decision. And because of that, I just choose not to watch that show. Um, so I do know that the shows are entertaining, as we know WWE brings. Uh, I do know that it has that mania effect. I would love to sit and partake in that, but listen, there are food places that I literally just don't eat. Be honest with you, I have my own protest with them for reasons I won't get into, but I don't fuck with them because once I begin to find out where you stand on certain things and it's against, I just think there's just sometimes you just shouldn't open your mouth. Keep it closed. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you're business, because you're trying to appeal to everyone. And if you're going to say something that is not appealing, that some going to be like, yeah, why am I going to give my dollars to you? You know? So I'm going to not watch it and I'm going to stick to that. But I know they're doing good things. And hey, until
There's plenty of good people on both sides. Excuse me.
Exactly. But look, enough to what I'm saying, enough of me. Let me go to you, man. I normally start with the person who actually brought this up. Tell me, what are your thoughts about this?
Well, first off, let me say that I enjoy myself a good crown jewel with a big bag of Chick-fil-A. So
Good old Matt Michaels.
ah,
Gotta love him.
ah, see, what's interesting, and this is kind of what has hit me the last two shows the two shows they've done
Mhm.
this year, and the 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 difference is when they started this, it was basically whatever the crown prince wanted to see them do is kind of what they did, you know. That's why you got Goldberg versus The Undertaker. That's why you got Shawn Michaels out of retirement. You had the big battle royal where Titus O'Neil took one of the most memorable slides ever when he was running down.
Slip and slide into the apron.
Yeah, into the apron. It's not the only time he's been under a skirt, but
Oh wow.
the most clumsy way he probably ever got under one.
Just put him with Hulk Hogan. That'll make him look real squeaky clean.
Well, Hogan was there.
That's what I'm saying.
They had him there in one of the I think first two. Hogan was there, so they've used everything. The Prince wanted all that kind of shit, but the last two, they have focused on the continual storytelling of what they've been doing. So they're not stopping their product just to put on this show for that particular crowd, which now makes it become more difficult for people like you, DJ, because you're missing something like Logan Paul winning the US title. And that's important to the storyline. To see the pirate come back, Kerry saying, that is something that is going to be going forward, something that is a big thing. All these things. Cena, potentially retiring. It's all an LA Knight. LA Knight got his title match. But all this stuff, if you weren't watching it because of your beliefs, then you essentially are missing a big part of what the story is, which is really interesting because, speaking of beliefs, it kind of all got blown out of the water when Sammy went with Kevin at the last one. And the principle of everything now was kind of put at rest because of the fact that, you know, Sammy actually partook, and this, you know, this was you know, I have to disagree with you, Rob. I thought that putting him on the pre-show, it was the only match. That was Sammy's big match. I mean, it was his fucking match. And
No, I mean, I liked it. I
JD
didn't
was
like it
not
at
gonna win
first.
that match.
I didn't like it at first only because only a few months earlier he had a much more grander entrance and it was a lot bigger. I felt this was a step down. And the way they framed it, they didn't frame it as a big match. They framed it as he's fighting the guy who's not really even in the Judgment Day.
But the point is that where is he in the storyline? At that time, he was bigger in the storyline. They were tag champs.
Yeah. No,
Right
I
now,
agreed.
Yeah. So that even shows that they're focusing on those stories more so than anything else. But he was still given that spotlight, and the fans reacted to it. You know,
They loved it. The pop for him was huge.
Huge. And when he stole the briefcase, I thought one of the coolest things were, I don't know where they found all the Saudi kids to put them in the holding area of the extras, but boy, when he got out there, whew, there must have been 60,000 kids around him.
Well, that was the thing. I felt that, like, I was annoyed. I'm like, this is what you do to the guy who had such a big grand entrance only a few months earlier in May. And now I'm like, this is annoying. And then a few minutes later, he had that great spot with stealing the briefcase. I was like, you got me back. You got me back fast. It caught me back immediately. It was so creative. I liked it.
Yeah.
So there's a lot going on there from all sides. And remember, this is also the company that had a plane sitting on a tarmac where they were being told, you're not leaving our country.
That's right.
So, you know?
Yeah. I mean, all of that. And still there was nothing WWE did to show their disapproval. They just took it. Let me go to you, Sin City Steve, on this. What's your take, man? Thoughts and opinions. Has it changed in the past few years?
Yeah, I mean, the thing is that really kind of stands out to me is the point that has been made is that it seems to be more canon. Previously, the Crown Jewel shows were, capsules unto themselves where, if you didn't watch it, it didn't have any bearing on any storyline and you were fine to not watch it. But they are now continuing storylines that they have been running. And I think that, it definitely does make things into a bit of an ethical conundrum, if you will, on whether or not, how strong your beliefs are, on whether or not you want to see every chapter to a storyline versus your own beliefs. So first things first, DJ Impact, I have to tell you that I commend you for sticking true to your beliefs. And yeah, that's amazing that you're continuing the stance. I did not watch Crown Jewel. I saw clips largely of the Logan Paul stuff and of the Cena and Solo match. I think that in both of those matches, they did absolutely the correct thing with both the outcome of those matches and the strength at which they put over the winners in that match, because it definitely felt like as if Solo Sikoa was made by his win over John Cena. That is a performance that Solo can hang his hat on, and that no one will ever be able to take that away from him. Let's be real. That was a huge win on a huge stage. Logan Paul winning the US title made absolute sense. Keep in mind, not too long ago, Bad Bunny, granted, yes, it was the 24/7 title, but you are delusional if you don't think that Logan Paul is going to be carrying the US title with him at all of his appearances. That is going to be amazing marketing for WWE. As someone that's not an avid WWE watcher currently, I think that it's an amazing business move. And also, let's be real, there have been photos that have resurfaced of Logan Paul when he was a little kid, shirtless, wearing a replica of the IC title over his shoulder. So this is something that the kid has wanted for years.
Yeah.
And now he's able to live out that boyhood dream, you know, and
Sure.
it is a good story. At the end of the day, I think that they are doing the logical step in having this event be canon, in making it matter. They are making the right moves for keeping people engaged with the product. It used to be one of those things where when something's not canon, Crown Jewel or whatever, you know, the greatest Royal Rumble or, you know, whatever those other shows were, you could skip them, and you could skip actually several weeks leading up to those shows and still be okay. But they are doing many of the right things that they need to be doing.
Sure.
Especially under new leadership.
Let me go to you, Rob. We never kind of knew where you stood on any of the crown jewels from the beginning. So
Here's what I'll say about the crown jewel. The first one was a joke, but it wasn't anything else other than what you thought it was. I mean, they gave Braun Strowman an Arabic green belt, and it was like, here's your consolation prize. You're never going to get a real one. But here's my thing. You brought up Mohammed bin Salem, which is the crown prince, and we're talking about Jamal Khashoggi. All right. First things first, did we put gas in our car today? Yeah, we did. All right. Second thing, Vince McMahon is a piece of shit. Okay. He is a great businessman. He's probably the god of professional wrestling behind the scenes. Okay. Did we really argue or really get that upset when Superfly Snuka, you know, accidentally hugged his girlfriend a little too hard? Did anyone really ask how the sausage was made all these years? No, we all knew it was bad. When the Attitude Era was around, I said horrible things about the WWE women, but it was mostly true back then, and it carried over. It's not as bad now as it was back then, but the women there were there to be eye candy, and they were treated like subhumans. Okay, we knew this. We never stopped watching it all together. If you were to tell me that Vince McMahon was on the fucking, you know, what was it? The pedophile island with, you know, I would believe it. Look at that kid. She's going to get the grapefruits. Yeah. And you'd believe it. If Vince McMahon was on Epstein Island, you would go, yeah, I believe it. You know, shaking hands with Donald Trump or to pick whatever president you don't like. Okay. We know this. Okay. We know all of this. And we kind of bury it in the back of our minds as the price of doing business. This is how we get it. Okay. Jamal Khashoggi, they are going to do what they are going to do. Now, as far as the quality, if you have a moral conundrum with it, keep in mind, again, you still got to get to work each day. And anytime you go, hey, look, man, we want to keep Alaska pristine, man. All right. Right. Okay, then. Well, it's got to come from somewhere, and it comes from that country primarily. Your oil, your way of life. Okay. And it's traded in US dollars. It's all what's happening in WWE. WWE is like a little microcosm, a little representative of how the world stage really is set. Okay, they're just a cog in the wheel of all of that. So what you're seeing some of the bigger global problems kind of represented in WWE, which is what they've always done. Part of why we watch it is because they take some of the stuff going on in the real world and they kind of put it out there in front of you, and you're like, it's like why people like Trump. You know, he says he raped a woman. Yeah, but she was hot. She was hot, man. Look, did you see who he raped? And you're like, oh, God damn it, that's awful. Yeah, but you still voted for him. You're still voting for WWE. If you don't like what they did in Saudi Arabia, keep in mind the women still went over there and wrestled that 5v5 match. They put on a fucking Eon Flux cat costume, knowing full well that Saudi Arabian women would never be allowed to do that. Those little girls in the audience wearing t-shirts and corduroys and jeans, when they get older, they're not allowed to go out. They're going to become property. Okay? There was only a handful of women there, and the cameras were really selective about picking the more westernized-looking women who are probably tourists visiting. But let's be honest, if you get assaulted as a woman in Saudi Arabia, they send you to jail for being impure. So those women in WWE, they sent Bianca Belair out there to cut promos. Okay? She went out there knowing full well that she's a role model to little girls all over Tennessee because she brought the title on home. And she's cutting promos over there where women aren't allowed to drive cars. So they all know how the sausage is made. It's no better than it is. And by the way they treat they treat their business associates, you know, behind the stage, where they basically said, you can't have your own social media accounts. You're going to have to pay me a percentage of your own private accounts. We know how the sausage. I'd have to stop watching all of WWE if I want to stick to the moral high ground. I'm not knocking you, but you'd have to cut out all of WWE wrestling. Now, if you want to watch a Middle Eastern produced show overseas, you can get tickets for freaking Wembley all in. All right. There's a Middle Eastern guy backing it, and you can go overseas, and that'll cure your conscience right there. And you can be part of the 80,000 sold out arena.
All right. So
wait. Now, he made a great point. Rob just made a great point. WWE is a microcosm of the real world. AEW is a microcosm of Fantasyland.
Yeah. But that's right. And let me tell you something. My name is Nigel. And right now, if you want to, you can clear your conscience by getting your tickets in advance. Please buy them now. You can get your tickets in advance, pay up front, put the down payment right now, and you can be part of the 75,000 sold out. We'll give away 25,000 comps. 75,000, we'll give out 15,000 comps. 30,000 sold out.
Well, listen, thank you for that. You know, the one thing, Rob, is
versus Flair.
Don't you dare put that out there into the ether.
Woo!
Literally an ambulance match.
Can we just get Jay Lethal to just do another blow off?
Casket
I just
match.
wanted
Casket
to redo
match.
that entire spot from Impact Wrestling from TNA years ago, scene for scene. You know? Woo! Woo! Woo!
They've been recreating that from WCW since 1988.
Did I just hear that punk? Please, just do it over and over again. And then you could have Kenny Omega wrestle the 9-year-old. We'll redo that match over and over again.
Here we go for our second count. This one is report NWA. Now, is that Samhain? Is that how you say that? All right, Samhain cocaine spot could affect TV deal with the CW. And of course, this is let me go over here to the article here. Okay, yeah, this is from Wrestling Observer site. So this is how it reads. It just says that a spot that saw a manager, wrestlers, and women snort cocaine at NWA Samhain could severely affect how viewers can access NWA programming on the CW. During last weekend's pay-per-view, manager Father James Mitchell was shown at a table with several wrestlers and women snorting cocaine and drinking alcohol. In the clip, and they got a clip in here, which was, I watched the clip like, oh my God.
Oh, is that what the dark place has been all these years? The dark realm?
Basically.
The dark realm was lines of cocaine.
Now, according to the House of Wrestling, CW officials weren't happy with that in light of their new deal that was set to bring both NWA power and reality TV series to the network.
Pursuit Network, here we come.
The outlet
On air
reported
for skeet shooting.
the outlet reported there is a 90% chance both shows will now air on the CW's app versus the broadcast as a result, due to the network receiving negative social media comments after the segment. There's a little bit more here, but let me just go over now to Sin City. Steve, I had no idea this took place, and I read this going, just tell me this didn't happen until I watched the video, and I was like,
I didn't get to watch the video yet. I was
I gotta watch the video. They're just sitting back, they're just snoring.
Yeah,
Like,
doing their best
Yeah.
Tony Khan impersonations.
all right, Sin City, what's your take on this, man?
Dude, so it just goes to show you how easy it can be to just fumble the bag entirely.
fumble the bag, he says.
Thank you for picking up on that. But yeah, legitimately, I think that, it was major news for NWA to get a TV distribution deal.
Sure.
And granted, it wasn't on, a marquee network. The CW is it's I think it's number 7 as far as distribution and the syndicated
Sure.
TV networks or whatever. But the fact is, this company, where a lot of people that have watched the product have said, oh, if they just had TV distribution, oh, if we could just see it on an actual, TV broadcast as opposed to watching it online and all this other stuff, then, they might do extremely well. Literally a month after, not even a month after the TV deal was announced, they run this specific angle, which, according to news reports, was something that Billy Corgan, president of NWA, insisted on being on the pay-per-view itself. So Billy Corgan, frontman of the Smashing Pumpkins, insisted on a cocaine and alcohol promo vignette that ran in the fucking middle of the show.
Is Father James Mitchell still doing like he's the devil thing, but over there at NWA, or was he doing a...
So honestly, I think that they're going to just completely repackage the entire gimmick. It's really going to be interesting, man. It's really going to be interesting to see how they rebound from this.
Yeah.
Because if they are confined to an app, I mean, why even have the TV deal signed? I really, really do hope that they get things straightened out. If that means Billy Corgan begging for forgiveness, whatever the situation is, yeah, you cannot do this shit when your product, which quite frankly is an unproven product at this point, to these TV execs, their first impression is you doing a spot with cocaine and alcohol.
And not only that, you had the announcers going like, wow, that seemed like a lot of fun going over there.
Right.
Like that's exciting. Like, why don't someone go like, why are they doing that? I mean, turn the
He's
camera
taking a bump in the ring.
I mean, just be
it's
the commentator that's against what you're saying, but not everyone making like it's a positive thing with that. Like, man, that looked like a great time over there. No, that wasn't a great time that's happening over there.
He probably had some of that supply. That's why it was a great time.
Hey, there you go.
I mean, let me ask you. Let's go over to you, Rob. I mean, I'm sure this was the first time you read this. What do you think?
Didn't know. I was asking about James Mitchell because he always plays the devil character in TNA. I didn't even know he was in NWA. Honest to God, all Billy Corgan has to do is drop another album, Bullet with a Butterfly Wings Part 2 or 0 to 1. Just drop another Smashing Pumpkins album, get another, crappy TV deal. No, look, any company like this, you don't want to be like at 7 o'clock, it's the Flash, and at 8 o'clock, wrestlers do their stash. It's not good. It's not good. NWA has always been NWA, GCW, and MLW are always those teetering companies where you're like, you know what? There's good talent here. They've got interesting stories. I just don't want to be invested in a podcast level wrestling program. And my only gripe with NWA is you're sitting in there, the studio, the audience, the ring. It's all in one set. It always felt chintzy to me. And Nick Aldis was running the show over there forever and a day. He was a champ there for like 3 years with the 10 pounds of gold. I never cared about it. They had Eli Drake over there for a little while. Even if it's a good wrestler, some of the wrestlers, there's some of their champions. You never even heard of these guys. Tim Storm, the guy was like a freaking, dinosaur. They were blowing dust off him. You know,
How do you mean
I
that?
never really got into it. Thunder Rosa came from there, and for a minute they were bringing people out of that little rock in the hole and bringing them up to notoriety. So the fact that he thought it would be edgy to do that, maybe he was thinking if I do something super edgy, that might attract people, ironically, to my program. But that's idiotic. There's a billion ways to go about it.
Yeah.
You know, there's a billion ways to go about it.
Yeah.
That's stupid. I hope it doesn't tank him, but if it does,
It's
you know
a
what it is?
learning
He has the same problem as Tony Khan. The problem is you have something to fall back on. And when you have something to fall back on, you treat
or cocaine.
Or
Right.
yeah,
right. But I'm even going to take the higher one and be serious in this. When you think you have an out where, you know what, you fuck all your staff over, you fuck all the producers over, you fuck your wrestlers over, you still have a job. Tony Khan doesn't need AEW. Fucking, you know, Mr. Smashing Pumpkins, Billy Corgan doesn't need this. But the people that you're paying money to do need this. You should take it with some, you know, sincerity and severity that what you're doing affects about, you know, dozens and dozens of other people. You know, when Vince McMahon fires a whole swath of people or any of his people do, or Nick Khan does, you go, okay, you know, you're dealing business. This is just you being an asshole and not taking your fucking self seriously as a business, you know, and that's unfortunate and it's really sad. And if I'm watching this on the CW, I'm looking at AEW, looking at what could go wrong. So if you did, it's not even that, you know, oh, you gave me a bad spot or it's not connecting with the crowd. No, you do a drug thing. I think it's cringy when WWE and AEW do a Jeff Hardy's drunk angle. And they were only doing that because Jeff Hardy was getting drunk and doing drugs, but then they did too many fucking storylines like that. And I thought that was cringy. Now you're just doing it for the fuck of it. That's stupid.
All right, let me get
Seriously.
Matt Michaels into this. Was Billy just going, fuck, Tony Khan shows up all the time high. Why can't I do it on my show? What is your take, Mr. Michaels, when you read this story? And maybe even watched the video of what these guys were doing.
Well, let's start off by saying the CW network was the network that ran Seventh Heaven, in which did star Stephen Collins.
Yeah, but he didn't do it in season 2, episode 3.
You don't know that. You don't know that.
Didn't bend his like fucking daughter over a table and go, "Yeah, we're gonna get you into Seventh Heaven, baby." Now start this line. My daddy takes back shots.
Jesus.
Inappropriate sexual contact with 3 female minors in 1973, 82, and 94. So he actually did this 3 times.
Well,
before
94
the
was
show
his
even
midlife
existed.
crisis. He needed to feel like a man again. He
Seventh
wanted to know if he
Heaven
still
was
had
my
something in the
favorite show. Oh boy.
Oh boy. Okay.
You know,
He just baptized his kid on live television.
you know, the NWA has always traditionally stood for the National White Powder Association. So,
Oh, I thought we were talking about that rap group. I'm not black enough to say it. I am. My DNA test says I am black, but I'm not going to say it because, you know, I'm not sure respect, but yeah, you know.
nice guys with attitudes.
I guess I could call myself a wigger with attitude.
Oh God.
I don't understand.
Exactly.
You know, I think that it's hysterical. It's just hysterical because, first off, who fucking cares? It's not like anyone's going to be watching it anyway, except for those 5 people who watch the NWA.
Hey man, they'll still pull probably bigger ratings than Rampage.
Could they get Father James
part.
Mitchell to dress up like Tony Montana and just have like piles of coke on a
God.
table and then do a hokey like Cuban accent?
You know, let's face it. It's owned by a rock star, so who fucking cares? You know, that's the whole thing. It's like, why are we putting this whole, oh my God, this is the end of the world. It's part of our fucking society. That's it.
Well,
Who
you know what?
cares?
I heard that they're going to unveil a new wrestler at NWA. It's a female wrestler called Awesome Bong.
Yeah.
He's
yeah.
riding on the spot, folks. Oh boy.
At Boss Comedy.
Oh well, yeah. Look, let's get to the next one because this is just getting crazy. I still can't believe this was actually a story, but it's
Can we go back to Saudi Arabia?
Genetic jackhammer.
all right. This is a
Give me
fun
the scimitar. I'll do it.
Oh shit.
I can cut my coke with it.
Let me show you where I cut some lines.
Let me get to count 3. All right, this is a fun one. Roman Reigns temporarily stepping away from WWE in-ring action soon from ringsidenews.com. Now, this reads that WWE Crown Jewel will see LA Knight Battle Royal Roman Reigns in Saudi Arabia for the undisputed Universal title. That just happened. And that would be a huge match for the tribal chief because it will also mark his final outing in the square circle this year. Now, Roman Reigns' plans are treated as very special within WWE. Only a select numbers of people know what's going on. And that formula has worked so far. His unbeatable title reign transitioned into an ultimate part-timer schedule. Now it appears that fans only have one more opportunity to watch him wrestle this year. Ringside News was told by a tenured member of the creative team that unless something changes, Crown Jewel that just passed will be the last time Roman Reigns will wrestle in 2023. He has one match against LA Knight, and he won't wrestle again into 2024. Now, Roman Reigns' next match was not confirmed, but it is plausible to assume that he will have a match at the 2024 Royal Rumble event in Tropicana Field. This part-time schedule for Roman Reigns also goes hand in hand with the special care his creative is giving. Now, Ringside News was the first exclusive report in 2020 that the usual WWE creative team is not handling Roman Reigns' creative directions. His angles are, quote, driven by Roman and Heyman, just like Brock Lesnar's creative was driven by Brock and Heyman. And And it was also noted that Michael Hayes is in the loop. All right. So let's go over to you now, Rob. What is your this is your article. What do you have a problem with Roman Reigns?
Oh my God. So we had this thing called WrestleMania 39. And I'm going to quote Matt Hardy now. Roman Reigns, you are a broken mule. That's what the problem is. Joseph Inoue had cancer, forever and a day, survived. They took him off the trucks. They erased him from the locker room. There was no mention of him about 6 years ago, 5 years ago, seasons ago. And then he shows up with with Paul Heyman, and Paul Heyman puts him over in a massive way, really gets him dialed in. He comes up with a catchphrase, and he's a star again. He says less, he gets more. Takes off the stupid uniform. I always thought he was going to have a colostomy bag or something to do with the cancer. I'm not even trying to be funny. I thought you were going to see a scar on him, something. No. Okay, great. I'm fine with that. Then they bring his brother in. His cousin. Cool. Beats him around a little bit. Brings the other one in. Beats him around a little. Smacks him around. Gets him the tag belts. Great. We build up this big story. Add Sami Zayn as comic relief. Then Sami Zayn goes from comic relief and becomes a normal guy again. Great. And we get to 39 and we go, well, this guy's done everything. You set up a story, forgetting about Cody. You set up a story that there is nothing left for him to do. And the day after 39, the most important thing is the way he will react to that WrestleMania is how he's going to treat that victory. And he was completely disinterested that Monday night after. He walked in with Paul Heyman. He walked out. Triple H shook his hand, patted him on the back, and he was bored to tears in that ring. Look at his facial expressions. He's biting his lip. He doesn't even want to say, acknowledge me. He doesn't want to have anything to say. That was his attitude. Give it to Cody. Now, Cody's just recovered. He's fresh. Whether you think he's got ring rust, whether you think he doesn't deserve it yet, whether you think you need to build him up longer and put more steam into this balloon. But WWE does this all the time. They keep the belts on the heels for way too fucking long. So you let him run around with this belt now well beyond his time. And you're going to tell me, oh, well, he's going after Bruno Sammartino's record. No, it's a fake record now. You took his belt and you divided it into two different things now, from the Universal Heavyweight Champion of the world to the Universal Champion, which means even less than it did a year earlier. And it's not taking anything off what Seth Rollins is doing with his belt. Kobe Lopez took that belt that was created out of nothing and put a shine on it, and he's fucking owning it. Great. But you still diminished Roman Reigns' belt and what it meant to be the undisputed world heavyweight champion. Then you give him these 3-month hiatuses here and there, which means all of this time off, it takes his record and it's an asterisk. And I get it. You get injured, you get hurt, fine. You can't do it forever. Okay? You can't do it forever. So now you're going to beat this guy into the ground physically, but you're going to let him hold on to the title and not let anyone else get some shine off it? I don't think LA Knight was ready to take the belt and cut a promo every week. I think he's still developing himself. I think he's like 80% of the way there. He's where he needs to be. Okay? Fine. But you could have given it to somebody who had the seasoning and had the wherewithal, the in-ring knowledge, the behind-stage knowledge to do something with that belt. And then if you wanted Roman Reigns, a refreshed Roman Reigns, to come back at 40 and to be like the fucking Empire Strikes Back and take it. And fine. It wasn't about Cody. It was always about you overworked Roman Reigns' storyline and you've overworked him physically. And now you're going to have a belt on somebody who's not using it. And Roman Reigns used to bitch and moan. And we all as fans used to bitch and moan when Brock Lesnar would show up 3 times a year, show up the Monday night before his pay-per-view. And that was it. And here we are again. Here we are again. We were promised a fighting champion. We were promised some guy who is the best wrestler in all of wrestling, of all wrestling. And now you really understand. And now I understand this year really clicked to me what it is to be a wrestler. AEW are wrestlers. They're not sports entertainers because they don't put together storylines. They do banger matches that are disconnected. And then WWE is sports entertainers where they might do a match here or there, but they're actors. They're thespians, okay? Roman Reigns could get up and do jazz hands all day because that's about where we're at right now with the guy. And it's not his fault, all right? Maybe he's turned into Hulk Hogan where he thinks I get to call all the matches and I get to dictate how this works. Fine. If you are really that injured, then fucking grow a pair, sit your ass at home, send your brothers out there to be the tag team they were supposed to be. If they have to put the puka beads on again and grow their hair out and do the haka at the beginning of every one of their matches and be a retro version of themselves. But this bullshit, it's annoying.
Let me just say this,
Could have been avoided. Could have been avoided.
I was a person, and I had said it on this show, that I said, hey, if Roman Reigns, if he ain't showing up on SmackDown when he comes to Vegas, I'm going to be fucking pissed.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Yep.
I don't want to show up. I did say that.
You did.
Okay. And SmackDown came to Vegas, and there was no Roman on the show.
How pissed off were you?
And
he was really pissed. It was amazing.
I was really pissed. But it was a really good
My
show.
wrestler showed up at Double or Nothing.
Let me tell you, here's the difference.
Sonny pissed?
I tell you this. Whenever you now hear the promotion that, hey, Roman Reigns is going to be on Fox this Friday, it's a guarantee that many people are going to tune in to want to find out what it is Roman is going to say.
But he doesn't do anything. He sits in his fucking office and he rolls his eyes for 45 fucking
It
minutes.
doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you think he says anything or not. He brings in the viewers.
He drinks an Aquafina and he goes, Paul, wise man, didn't I ask you to do something about this? Yes, my tribal chief. Wise man. Who allowed Jimmy to speak? I don't know, my tribal chief. Next week, Roman Reigns rolls his eyes at the craft services table.
Listen, who is your wrestler on the other side that's your champion, that's your top guy that comes every week, that everyone cares, and even you care to see him all the time wrestle weekly?
Right now, are we talking as all wrestling?
How about champion? Yeah.
MJF is the one guy, whether or not you like the promotion or what they're using him for. MJF is the one guy putting in the work in and out of the ring on the mic. He shows up every week. He's cutting promos. He's putting other people over. He's doing it the right way. I don't care for him as a babyface, but the dude shows up every week. And actually now he's doing multiple days. It's not even that he just shows up for one day. He's doing Dynamite. He's doing Collision. He's doing Rampage.
So you just want Roman to show up. You don't want him to necessarily wrestle.
Well, no, but the thing is, my problem was he can't do it. If you're telling me the guy's injured, if the behind the scenes is that he's injured, which is very plausible, and by the way, Joseph Noaie is put in the work. He's earned every accolade that he's gotten to this point. He's earned it. But comes a point when your body gives up, or you need to be with your family. You need to be a father. These guys don't just wrestle the few days that we see them. They're doing tons of everything.
I never know if Roman is being hurt or not, but if he is hurt, maybe he shouldn't be doing wrestling on a regular basis. And
drop the belt. Drop the title. Belt. Drop the title.
Well, you know what?
Somebody else over.
You know what? You will. It will happen. It's going to happen for Cody. It's going to happen, guys.
No, they're doing it because they want to have that inflated
Cody moment. It's going to happen.
They want that stupid inflated number so he can say he beat Bruno Sammartino. That's all they're doing. They're writing a story that doesn't exist. They're going, oh my God, Roman Reigns has been champion for 1,007. No, he has not been the champion that long. He sits in his home.
Don't even know who Santino is. Listen.
And maybe Santino back in the day didn't wrestle.
Sammartino didn't fucking defend the title.
Well, that's my point. But my point is you're right. I know Sammartino didn't do that. I get that. But that's not the point. It's not about Sammartino. It's the fact that they keep bringing it up. They're the ones. Michael Cole keeps saying every day.
Because it's a fucking story.
That's right. It's a dumb story. It's a dumb story.
What do you think?
It's not a dumb story.
This is real?
No, of course not. It's all work. It's all written. But you're writing. You're trying to insult my intelligence as even a casual fan.
All right, Rob, you're on timeout. Let me move over to Sin City Steve. You know, I see you agreeing with this guy, shaking your head at me. Listen, I don't know. What's your take on Roman Reigns?
Roman Reigns needs to go to Saudi Arabia with some journalists.
Oh, Jesus. Stop. No, so here's the thing. I've got to preface this by saying this little disclaimer, DJ Impact.
All right.
Whatever comments I make, I would ask you and implore you to not take offense to them, okay? Because I know that you worship the ground that Roman Reigns walks on. Okay. You absolutely, you and American Bam Bam are the two biggest Roman Reigns dick riders that I know.
Excuse me. Right now, he is on eBay bidding on Roman Reigns' jockstrap that he wore at WrestleMania 39. There's a pube in there and it's autographed.
Did you just say Dick Ryder? I love it. Ha, 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 ha. Dick Attitude, Dick Ryder, the Attitude Riders.
Fill these great brutes.
In all seriousness, you know, water is wet, fire is hot. Roman Reigns is not wrestling. Those are just given facts at this point. Roman Reigns is going to wrestle maybe 6 times a year. If you look at everything that he does in the ring, you know, and that's on the high side. He's probably closer to 3-4 matches. He has the Brock Lesnar schedule. So I think that, you know, the reason why I'm agreeing so much with Rob is simply this. You're building this storyline that Roman Reigns has had this title for however many days. That's fine. You can do that all that you want.
Hey, his beard gets blacker the longer he wrestles, huh? They put the dye just for men in there. He looks younger.
Hey,
but next year he'll have blue eyes again.
Right? No, the fact is, I that is one major reason why I lost a lot of interest in WWE programming. You know, the Bloodline story has been acclaimed by so many people and revered by so many people that, you know, it's taken so many twists and turns, and, you know, this is great long-term storytelling. I will give it that. They've taken the audience on a 3-year story at this point, which quite frankly, I didn't think WWE had that type of storytelling in them anymore. But I personally can't get over the fact that your world champion appears maybe once a month on the show.
Can I ask you a question?
And wrestles maybe once a quarter. That is what I have a problem with.
When you
I want a champion that's there consistently. I like what they did with giving Rollins the belt, but it feels like a second place participation trophy, despite how much he has brought it. Okay, and he's always been an amazing worker, but
who are you talking about? Roman, right?
No, I'm talking about Seth Rollins.
Okay,
but Roman Reigns, man.
Let me get on. Let me just ask though. The Roman Reigns matches that we have had, including what we just got from LA Knight, have you not found that all of those matches that he's had since he's become champion and now has just been phenomenal matches performed by Roman Reigns?
So what?
Well, the point is that if you're going to have that, don't you want your wrestler to?
So did Brock Lesnar years back. Those matches were great too.
Right.
Except for
so
one or
don't
two.
you, why would you, in other words, why you want to run your wrestler to the ground? Why you want your Moxley, your favorite wrestler, to be run to the ground to the point that when he gets a move, he can't even move. He doesn't even know where he's at. Well, you have to give the title to someone else that wasn't even planned. Why run your body in the ground when you don't have to?
I just want to jump in. John Cena, they're calling him the greatest of all time. He hasn't won in 5 years. So they write these storylines that contradict each other. You're saying Roman Reigns has held this title for blah, 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 blah days, but he never shows up anymore.
You answer the question. I just asked. You got Moxley here. Y'all love Moxley.
Yeah.
The man, he doesn't have a belt.
Right. He's not the world champion.
He doesn't have a belt. And by the way, when Moxley had the alcohol problem, he took himself off the shelf. Absolutely. He knows when to quit. He knows when to get himself
Michael,
healed up.
Let me let you jump in on this one. What is your take?
My take is this. AEW ticket sales for Chicago on November 22nd. Current current setup.
Probably abysmal.
No, it's probably pretty good.
Okay, so available tickets. Current setup is 5,224. Okay. The tickets distributed are 2,111. So they still have 3,107 tickets available. It's up 40 tickets since 7 days ago.
I'll call two of my friends.
I'm sorry. Which show was this?
AEW on November 22nd. So that'd
okay.
A time.
Yeah. AEW ticket sales are in the toilet. Absolutely agreed.
Right. Mm-hmm. Well, and Survivor Series is running Chicago November 25th. Mm-hmm. And available tickets 1,173. Mm-hmm. Current setup 16,860. Tickets distributed 15,687.
Cool.
So what it comes down to is simply this. Y'all can bitch all you fucking want about it. Oh, he's not on TV. He's the champ. Yeah. He's not defending a belt. The fact of the matter is the product is selling better than it's ever fucking sold. So, in all honesty, I don't like Roman. That's just personal. I don't like Roman Reigns. But what you're seeing is reflective of if he was defending that belt all the time, you all would be bitching about, oh my God, this guy won't get off our fucking TV. No, you would. No, bullshit.
We're
You
both
say,
shaking
oh
our
my
heads
God,
no,
we're just seeing too much fucking Roman Reigns. Oh my God, he's wrestling John Cena again. Oh my God, he's wrestling this guy again, that guy again, because that's what people have been doing.
But this is why and I will come back, and I'm not going to die on the hill. I'll fight on the hill. This is why I said he needed to lose at 39. I don't care if he lost to a toaster oven. He needed to lose because he had nowhere further to go. He needed to have a vengeance story, not a I'm out of wrestlers, so I'm just going to take a break story.
But if this was so detrimental then how
They
come
WWE has
your MJF, who is the best champion right now? Oh my god, it's so fucking great!
yeah, but that's because Tony Khan's a
Can't
piece
draw
of shit.
shit.
So Tony
But these
Khan is
guys
driving
can
his
still
company
fucking
into the
draw.
damn ground. MJF, as good as he is, can't be seen if people don't know enough to watch him. I'm a wrestling fan. I like to watch the obscure. I'm talking about MLW wrestling, GCW wrestling, NJPW, Impact Wrestling, TNA. I watch those shows. So I'm not just a WWE fanboy 12-year-old. WWE is like Donald Trump. Donald Trump, love him or hate him, is good at promoting himself. WWE has a patented, they have a perfect method of promoting themselves. They know what they're doing.
Right.
They
So
do.
then what is the fucking problem?
The problem is you're now going to me going,
that this guy is just not just
no, because this
doing
is what
blah, blah, blah.
everybody bitched and moaned. Even the meta storyline back in the day was that Brock Lesnar doesn't earn what he has. Roman Reigns did earn what he has, but now you're still framing him as this nonstop behemoth. He's not nonstop. He's done. He's gone. Now that's why I picked this story. He's going to be
but you
gone.
know what? He's gone. The whole point of what Matt Michaels was also saying, it's like in your world, all right, he's done, he's gone. But to the rest of the universe, the one I'm in, we don't give a fuck. We're still showing up to the events because we're not looking at the
7 seasons ago, 7 years ago.
Listen,
Samoa Joe was the Impact Wrestling X Division title holder, and he tweaked his fucking hamstring. You know what he went? He got on the next week. He was with the Beatdown Clan.
And you know what? And you know what happened when Samoa Joe was the fucking champion that they built up? They brought in Kurt fucking Angle and ruined the guy for the rest of his TNA career. So why did they do that? Because Kurt Angle was a fucking brand that was built by WWE, and people knew who the fuck this guy was. Just like you guys at AEW. No offense, you guys. But at AEW, what have they done constantly? Brought in goddamn motherfucking WWE guys.
I'm in agreement.
Established.
I'm in agreement.
Absolutely
when Edge
agree.
came in, when Adam Copeland came in, is boring.
The perfect example, right?
No, but that's the problem. The problem isn't the fault of MJF. And look, this is why I'm doubly annoyed. You're right. Both of you are right upstairs.
Yeah.
You're correct. They're going to be successful no matter how piss poor of a program they do. They could literally just sit there and have Linda McMahon do oil wrestling for 3 years straight, and they'll still draw numbers.
Wait. What's wrong with that? Come on, dude. Come on now. Now you're speaking my language.
Okay? They could have like fucking Linda McMahon, Scissor Stephanie for the next 3 years.
Yes.
Oh, Jesus.
Yes. What?
And guess what? But that's the problem. They're really good at what they do. It doesn't matter what. So what I'm saying is now, I'm watching this going, you know what? For the money I'm spending, what little it is, even for whatever type of income you have to pay for their programming,
you know
to be sucked in with a storyline. Because here's the thing: what WWE does that AEW isn't doing is they are writing a good story, but then they'll write the story and they expect you to suspend belief, like what we said when they said, "Hey, Adam Pearce, you're being promoted. You're now only going to do half the work." And I went, wait. Sonya Deville was the SmackDown manager. We knew that. Sonya Deville was the SmackDown GM. Then he took over the whole thing because she was punished. And we went, okay, we know this. We follow it. I'm a sci-fi Star Trek guy. Every time they write something that didn't happen in the season before, and then they write a whole new thing and ignore what happened the season before, I want to put my fist through a wall. So when WWE does it, and they're doing it in slow motion, they're doing it like, remember last week? All right, check this out. You remember this guy that we've been telling you is the wrestler? He's been doing this for 3 years nonstop. Well, he really isn't. But we're going to keep telling you this over and over and over again. And your response, Matt, is like the response I would get out of a 15-year-old. It's like, yes, he is the best. He really is the best.
You are in the minority.
Really is the best.
I
know I'm in the minority, but I am in the minority. I know I am. I am being that elitist piece of crap about it because you know what? You keep making this story every week and then you're not delivering on it.
Why
let the fucking guy rest. Have him go home. Have him show up in Philadelphia. Take the belt off Cody Rhodes, and I'll shoot.
You know what? Take the other fucking route. On Crown Jewel, they actually fucking said when Cody won, he's on his way to that fucking redemption. So guess what?
Good.
The whole thing is a fucking build.
Right.
Give it fucking time. And you know what? It's like, oh, too much time.
No,
That's the thing. Well,
they
you know,
wanted him-
and,
they
and
wanted
Jamel's
Cody-
right. Just because the majority does, because you're in the majority doesn't make it right. Sure. But
Absolutely.
it makes it fucking right for those people who want to buy into it because it's a suspension of disbelief. It's
Right.
not an actual fucking competition. And you're going to tell me, oh, well, you know,
I'll
they
give you an
do this,
example.
they
Back
do
in the early
that.
2000s, they used to keep the belt on Triple H forever and a day. By the time The Rock finally got it, I was exhausted. I was like, I just don't even care anymore. I mean, and you know what?
But
The
they
son of a
did
bitch,
that-
The Rock cut
but
better
they did-
promos when he was chasing Triple H, better than when he actually had the belt.
but
And
they
that's
did-
fine, but you
but-
cannot tell me that this guy is the greatest, longest, performing.
He is the longest. It's just a fucking date, dude. The GOAT is Cena. That's what they're telling you.
And he has a one in 5 years. And he wasn't the GOAT 5 years ago when he was winning. Because when he was winning all those belts, they never called him the GOAT. The GOAT, by the way, is Ric Flair. Ric Flair is the fucking GOAT. This John Cena bullshit. That's Ric Flair's the motherfucking GOAT. Oh, where
yeah,
the fuck they got the balls to say John Cena with his fucking balding ass head at 45?
Your GOAT's about to have a fucking match at 80.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
Mhm.
Thank you. All right.
Buried alive match.
Everybody.
Please.
Thank
I don't know if it's buried alive.
Just a buried match.
That's right.
Can they do a match where they put more clothes on him?
Please.
Woo!
Guys,
I think we're all in agreement of that. Hallelujah. We found common ground. Holy shit.
everybody, listen. Thank you truly for listening, man. We do this shit because hey, we're fans. We love it. We like who we like. We dislike
Do
what we
your balls
dislike.
hang low,
And that's
do
what it's-
you, Jeff?
And that's what it's all about. We gonna give our final thoughts and comments here. We know we let the show go a little longer, but hey, it's all fun. I'll kick it off with you, Sin City Steve. What do you want to tell the good folks out there?
All right. Thank you guys for hanging out with us tonight. Thank you for liking, sharing, subscribing, doing all the stuff that you guys do. We appreciate each and every one of you. Also, very special shout out and thank you to all the brave men and women serving this country, whether you're doing it on lands foreign or domestic. Thank you for doing what you do so we can do what we love to do. And last but not least, repsports.com, reppsports.com. Go there for all your pre-workout, weight loss, general energy needs. Again, that's repsports.com. Use promo code Vegas at checkout. Save yourself 15%.
All right, perfect. Rob, what do you want to tell the folks, man? Where you going to be?
First of all, I want to thank Sin City Steve for giving me the proper background. Before I had a little, I had the little circle, and now I've got a big, beautiful circle. Never has anyone seen a circle this beautiful. People say all the time, it's beautiful. It's the biggest circle that they've ever seen. Believe it. And we've got all these people talking about how great Roman Reigns is. He shows up once every 3 months and he wants a title. You know what? Let me get the title. If we're going to do that, I'll be the next champion, and I'll be a bigger champion than he ever was. I'll do guillotines. It'll be so many guillotines, they'll think he was Marie Antoinette. That's how good the guillotines are going to be. So many good guillotines. It's true.
Where are you going to be at? Where are you going to be at, man?
I'm going to be at 18 BIM, opening up a Drunken Jokes for Amir the Miracle. I'll be in other spots across the city. I didn't have anything formally booked this week, but other than the 18 BIM spot, you can see me at Boss Comedy. And I love Matt. I think Roman Reigns is a deadbeat champion. Okay, I want Dominic Mysterio to cut deadbeat champion promos for the next 3 months with his tassels falling off his boots and everything.
So your name is right there at Boss Comedy. If you want to look him up, you could get the chance to see a lot of his jokes. And
my champion is a deadbeat
everything.
champion. He wasn't there for my 8th birthday.
Oh God, Matt Michaels, let me go to you.
The funniest fucking thing is, as you were saying your dates, it just hit me that this whole argument about he does the same thing over and fucking over, and that's all he does over and over. God damn, fucking go to a comedy club and go see a comedian at 3 different comedy clubs in the same week, and you'll go, oh, I get it now.
I will say this. I actually went to a club, and I said to the guy, what do you want me to do? Do you want me to do the Trump? He goes, fuck no. I'm like, all right. And I did a good set anyways without Trump. So yes, we
What
do
if?
different material. We don't always do the same material. Some of my friends do. They do the same shit over and over again. But
But not 3 years. I don't know, Jamel. I gotta say, some guys we know, 3 years, maybe even 5 years. So,
I've done the same match every day for the last 3 years. Acknowledge me. I suck.
Oh God.
but on a serious note, I do have to say, this past weekend, actually, Rob Thompson, who was Rob Rage, he's a Canadian independent wrestler. He passed away on November 4th. Thompson went into cardiac arrest backstage at a wrestling show. He returned backstage after competing at a fundraising event in Hamilton, Ontario. An individual close to the situation stated that when Thompson came back to the dressing room, he went into cardiac arrest, and some wrestlers performed CPR until medical personnel arrived. Despite efforts from the wrestlers and medical responders, Thompson passed away. He had been wrestling since 2012 and has competed in a multitude of promotions across Canada. On Dark Side of the Ring, episode about the Road Warriors, Rob portrayed Hawk in the cinematic scenes. It was just something that came up again. A lot of the people in the independent scene in Canada were, expressing their, sympathies for Rob and his family, and it's a lot of people who knew this guy. It's just. And the thing is cardiac arrest, which, is another one of those things that you don't expect. Guys who are the guy's in phenomenal shape. So,
Yeah.
Unfortunately, this is what goes along with the business.
Yeah.
Now, if only some of those comedians who do the same shit over and over would,
now people have said that comics do the same routine over and over again. And folks, I'm just here to say that's not the case.
And you can't say that word.
Oh God. All right. Peace.